Well, good afternoon, everybody. I spent some of the morning in town, picked up some lumber, and it's time to begin the baby crib build. Now, if you watched the previous videos, I've been talking about my newest grandson that should be here in probably next week. And we're going to make a little crib for him. And I made one for my daughter, and it went through all three of her kids. I made another one for Ricky Jr. and my daughter-in-law for Ricky the third, and it went through him, and they've still got it. They both still got theirs. So this one is for Emily, for the big boy that's on the way. Now I'm going to go through this step by step. It'll probably be a couple of parts. And what I'm going to do to start with, I've got my boards laid out. This will be the headboard and the footboard. And it's oversized because it'll have to be cut out, but I'm going to glue these panels together. And the way I'm going to do that, this is a plate joiner, or sometimes called a biscuit joiner. I call it a biscuit joiner. Now this is a very, very old tool. I've had it for years and years and years. And it's not a quality tool, really. It works pretty good, but the brand name is Grip. I have no idea where it's made. It doesn't say on there. But I got it at a big tool store over in Foley, Alabama, back even before Harbor Freight was around. So anyway, it's been stored in the box up on the shelf, and the box had came open, so it was dusty, dirty. So I spent about 30 minutes getting it cleaned up, making sure. Now if you've never seen one of these, what they do, they cut a slot. See, there's a cutter in there. And you take these biscuits, these are beech wood, quarter cables. Now I've had these so long that back when I used to woodwork a lot, they are so old that they are made in the USA. Now maybe Porter Cable still is, I don't know, but most of them are made in China nowadays. But that is a number 0 biscuit. And what you do, I've already made a couple of test cuts just to make sure I had the machine lined up right. It cuts a slot right here, and you take this biscuit, put it in there like that, and you glue it and join it together. And the moisture in that glue will make this biscuit expand, and it will never come apart. See there? Now they make all different sizes of these. I've got some more up there that's number 20s that are much bigger, but I don't think I need to go that big. So this is the spruce pine. On the tags I couldn't tell where it came from, but yellow pine would work, but yellow pine is really hard and splintery. This is much softer, and it's easier to work with. And this is going to be painted. The other two, well, one was painted, one was stained. This one will be painted. And then we have another son to go that don't have any kids yet, so I'll be building another one day. Alright, the way you do this, the way you line it up. Okay, let's move the camera just a little bit. Pardon me. Hard to breathe today, folks. Humidity is awful. So you find your locations where you want to put your biscuits, and just draw a little line across, and we'll cut the slot. Now let's see, there's 6, 3, 18 slots I gotta cut. Pardon me. Alright, now next clip, you'll see I'm going to pick this up, turn it around, clamp it down where it don't move, and I'll show you how this slot cutter works. Alright, to show you on the first couple, on the tool there's a line right there. Line that line up with your line that you made. And this part here is the crucial part. Now make sure it stays flat and square. Turn it on, watch your volume, it'll get a little bit loud. And we'll turn it on and just push the whole thing in. Let's see, let's move around again. Just like that. And I'll cut the rest of them. Then I'll flip the board back around. We'll cut those and join them together. And I'll show you that here in just a minute. Alright, let's get this glued up. We just had a major thunderstorm roll through here. Lost power for a few minutes, but everything's good now. Now we're going to take our glue bottle. Now, if that looks like one of the bottles you buy at the dollar store to hold mustard, mayonnaise, that kind of thing, that's because that's what it is. Over time, those glue bottles, the tops wear out, and I buy glue. When I get wood glue, I buy it by the gallon. So you can just pour it in there. It's a lot cheaper that way. Now what I'm going to do, let's see, now I've got to work pretty quickly, so I'll get in the way of the camera and all that kind of stuff. Let's see, maybe you can see. There's my little spreading brush. I'm going to make sure I get some glue down in each one of the holes for the biscuits. A bit there. Like that. Now it doesn't take much. You don't have to just jam it in there. I'm going to be walking back and forth, so bear with me. One of those. Like that. Now I'm going to take my little brush, spread it out even, like that. And yes, of course, I'll get it all over me. What you're supposed to do. I think I mentioned before, when you the moisture gets on those biscuits, when it dries, it will expand, and they actually expand that biscuit out. It's almost like a mortise and tenon joint. Just much easier. Right there, and spread that out some. And we'll knock some biscuits on the floor. Trip over the pad on the floor. That back down. See there? Getting all over you. Here. See, it's hard to work the camera and do this all at the same time, but you get the idea. I just had a visit from the kid. He's out on the family outing day. Came by and dropped off a new bandsaw blade that we will install tomorrow. Alright, got the biscuits set in there. Down, spread our glue. Now this is going to drip down on my new tabletops, which is no big deal. Wood glue cleans up pretty easy. Like that. Now that will sit there and not fall over. All we have left to do is put some glue on this side. Down in the hole. Whoop, I just made a mess there. And we'll spread this out a little bit. Get everything lined up. Like this. And we start tightening the clamps up. Start drawing it all together. Move the camera again. There it goes. Want to bow up a little bit that way. Now I can't stress that they're having to work pretty quick because this glue's starting to set up. Problem, I see the problem. We'll fix it. There. Now, as the old southern saying goes, now we cooking with gas. So we're going to pull those joints together. Now some of this is going to be waste on the end. It's going to be trimmed off. So we're not too awful concerned about it being perfect on the ends. Just want to see a little bit of glue squeeze out of the joints. Alright, that clamp is maxed out right there. I'm going to loosen it back up. And by the way, these are not high quality clamps. They are of course Harbor Freight specials, but they work. So. Okay, that's as far as that's going to go. Now, like I said, this here, where you see this gap, that's going to be squared off right in here anyway. So it looks like we got a pretty good joint going there. And where's my rag? You just wipe that glue off a little bit. Now once we get everything cut out, I'll sand that off smooth. It'll dry hard enough to sand. So there we go. Major step for today. Now this will probably be dry within an hour or so to where I can work with it. But I always like to give it overnight, let it sit overnight and dry. That way there's no question. Alright, that is Saturday's progress on the baby crib. I'll see y'all tomorrow. This rain is and humidity is so bad, it just makes you depressed. So I'm gonna go in and get a sandwich. Alright, let's get back on the baby crib build. This is Sunday, the next day. I came out a little while ago. I actually took the morning off. It's pretty late in the afternoon now. I just laid around the house. So let's get back to it. Now my glue joints came out very, very nice. Of course, it's all got to be sanded anyway. There's just a little bit of a void. I mean, not a void, but a little bit of a rise with the glue squeezed out. And that won't be a problem whatsoever. Now, I started laying out the lines. Took a good deal of time doing that. And this is the footboard. You go at the foot of the crib, or bassinet, whatever you want to call it. Baby holder, that's what I call it. Because he won't be in it long, I'm telling you. I just hope he fits in it to start with. But anyway, got my little curves drawn up top. This is the center line, which is 12 and 7/8 in the center. And let's see, what was I going to do next? And I got my height right here. This is 9 inches. And the mattress will sit down here. Or up here, whichever way I decide to do it. Now what I did, put a little nail in the center line. What I'm going to do now is draw the line for the rocker. Because I want it to rock a little bit, but I don't want it to rock a lot. So when it's sitting next to the bed, she can just reach over and rock it gently or whatever she's going to do. So let's back the camera up just a little bit. I've got my center line extended all the way down here. So I'm going to take my pencil. Oh, one more thing. I squared a line across here, but instead of cutting this off and then cutting the rocker, I'll just cut it all at one time, and that'll take care of that. Now we'll start right there on the center and just let our string follow around. That'll give me the shape, and do the same thing on the other side. That way they'll be the same on each side. Just like that. Now when I make that cut, all this uneven edge will go away. And in the very end, I'll take another piece and cut, and I'll show you that when I get there, a brace to make it, double this thick, just for strength on the bottom of the rocker. Because there's a little bit of a gap right here, but you'll never see it once that other piece goes on. And that'll go on the outside probably, and it'll look really cool and be very useful. So now I've got to lay out the rest of my lines from here up to give it its final shape. Then I'll get this one piece cut, sanded down even all the way around. Then I'll just simply lay it on top of the other piece. All the bottom will be the same, the top will be a little bit higher, just a little bit, just for looks for the headboard. And Mama wants a couple little half moons cut in either side. Well, her and Emily has already talked about this. So that's what we'll do. Now I did get my idea, well, Mama found it on YouTube. A young man made one back in, I think it was 2017 or something, for their little girl that was coming. And I took some ideas from that one, some ideas from another video, and some of my own ideas. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, let me lay out these other lines and come back and I'll show you what those look like. And one more side note, I thought it was appropriate that I use some of my grandfather's tools that I wound up with. Not many, but this is an old Stanley carpenter square, which I've used to lay out the lines across here. Every time I clean this thing, get the rust off, sand it, looks good. Living here, you know, with the humidity so bad and all, even in the shop it comes right back. So, but it's still a good squaring tool. I just thought I'd throw that in there. Alright, I'll be back when I get ready to start cutting. Alright, there is the final design of the footboard. Before I started doing any kind of cutting, I had to call the boss out here and get approval, and she did not want to be on camera, so I said yes ma'am. Now I'm going to take my old Skil Jigsaw. This is another tool that's fairly old, very good tool. And let's see, I have a set of, what kind of, these are Bosch, as are these. Bosch saw blades, very good blades, and this is soft wood anyway, so it'll cut pretty good. Let's see, let's choose us metal. That is a wood blade right there. Now these are metal and these are wood. That's a wood blade. They've been used a little bit, but they should be just fine to cut this. I want the finer tooth if I can. I think these are both the same. What I like about this particular jigsaw, you don't have to have a tool to put the blades in. You just grab it, this right here, can you see this? Push down on it, and that blade locks in just like that. Just like that. And this one also has the laser light, which, to be honest with you, I have never used. My skill saw, circular saw, we call them skill saws, also has a laser that I have never used. See, there we go, there's the laser. Just cool that it's there, but alrighty, let me get everything out of the way and get this set where I want it, and I'll start doing all the cutting I'm going to do with this, and some of it will be with the circular saw. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and make this cut. I'm going to show the first one here, the rocker arc here, and then it'll be pretty self-explanatory just doing the other cuts, and then we'll see the next step. Now this might get a little loud, so watch your volume. Just like that. See there? The wood broke before those glue joints did. Alright, now I'll cut these, and we'll see it again here in a minute. And I'll sand everything smooth, and we'll transfer the pattern. And I think I'll do it for part one, because I'm just going to cut this one out, and then I've been told I have to go inside and sit down because it's time to eat. So I must do what I'm told, folks. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support. I'll leave the tools I've used so far down in the description, and I'll see y'all next time with part 2, and that should finish it up.